Okay, this is just going to be a video backup of what you already have written down, what we did in class. So I just want to run through it again quick. Remember, a prism is a space figure with two sides that are congruent, parallel polygons. So we have the circle and the circle for your cylinder, triangle and triangle for your triangular prism. Okay, any of those? So basically the ends of the prism are called the bases. That's your original shape. So in here it's a hexagon, and here it's a circle, and here it's a square. The other ones are all rectangles, and those are your faces. Okay, so the faces are rectangles, and the bases are going to be what define the name of the prism. This is what we tried in class, if you remember. We tried doing some area formulas. So basically, all you have to do is take the area of the two bases and add the areas of the faces, and that's going to get you your answer. Okay, these are the nets we talk about. Like if I put them together, it makes my three-dimensional shape. All right, so the first one is our cube, and all we do is each side is a square, and the way I find the area of a square is a squared. And in a cube, all of them are the same. So in our sample, it'd be 6 times 7 squared. So I take 7 times itself, multiply by 6, and that would be the area of our cube. Now, I'm not as concerned with the answer as I am you knowing how we got the answer. So on the quiz, I'm more interested in looking at this. Okay, so make sure you're showing me your work. Because if you have this right and you just put a plus instead of a times or something in the calculator, okay, that's just your error. That's fine. What I need to know is you know how to do this. Okay? Rectangular prism. Basically, we have 6 rectangles. We need to add them all together. Oops, one of my letters disappeared here. We'll call that L. Okay, so 2 of our rectangles are width times length. That would be like the bottom and the top. 2 of them are length times height. That would be like that side and that side. And then 2 of them would be height times width. That would be this front one and that back one. It doesn't matter what order they're in. Just get all 6 rectangles and add them together. Okay, so again, I got 5 and 6. I got 6 and 10. And I have, let's see, I did 5, so I got 5 and 10. Again, it doesn't matter what order they're in. Just make sure you get all 6 rectangles. So 5 times 6 times 2 plus... Alright, so that should be about 280, or exactly 280 meters squared. So I did 5 and 6, 6 and 10, and 5 and 10. Okay, good. That's the rectangular prism. This is your cylinder. And if you remember, we talked about the y of this formula. Okay, this is the 2 circles, so this circle plus this circle. And this is the circumference of the circle times the height, if I were to fold that out like a label on a can. Okay, so all I do, put the radius in there, put the radius in there, and my height was 4. And this one I'm rounding, obviously because I have pi in there, so 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. I got about 131.95. And that was inches squared. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Okay? Alright, and the half cylinder, this was one that got a little tricky. But basically, you have this half circle plus this half circle, so that's a full circle. Plus you have this rectangle on the bottom. Plus you have this rectangle, which is here. It's kind of a weird one. So it's half the circumference. That's how I got this piece right here, times the height of the figure. So in our example up there, 2, so it'd be pi, radius would be 2.5, diameter is 5, height is 8, half pi diameter heights. Put that all in the calculator. And again, I'm not as concerned about this answer as I am the work. Okay, so pi r squared plus 5 times 8 plus half pi 5, 8. So I got about 122.47 feet squared, about. All right, triangular prism, if you remember, did not have a nice formula. I just said take the 2 triangles plus the 3, sorry, 2 triangles plus the 3 rectangles. So, a triangle is a half times base times height. Half times base. The base of my triangle is 6. The height of my triangle is right here, which I don't know. So I have to do the Pythagorean theorem right here to get h. So I'm going to go 11 squared, 11 squared minus 3 squared, and take the square root. And I get about 10.58. So half times base times height plus 3 rectangles. All right, one of them is 6 by 14. One of them is 14 by 11. And one of them is 14 by 11 again. That other one over here is the same. Okay, put that all in the calculator. We're rounding because of the Pythagorean theorem. 6 times 10.58 plus 6 by 14 plus 14 by 11 plus 14 by 11. I got about 455.48 meters squared. So I'm checking my work again. 2 times a half times 6 times 10.58 plus 6 by 14 plus 14 by 11 plus 14 by 11. Okay. Trapezoidal prism is basically we take the 2 trapezoids plus the 4 rectangles. So, trapezoid is a half times the height, which is given to us right here, times A plus B, here's A and B, are 11 and 14. Then we have 4 rectangles. All right, I got 14 by 15 is on the bottom. I have 11 by 15 on the top. And this is not given to us, but we could figure it out. Here, I'm just going to redraw that little triangle. This is 10. This is 14, but if I take away the 11, that'd be 3. So this would be 1.5. This would be 11, and this would be 1.5. So 1.5. Do the Pythagorean theorem. And I get about 10.11 for my hypotenuse. So this is 10.11 times 15. And so is this one. 10.11 times 15. So all of that in the calculator. Okay, I got about 928.3 inches squared. But again, on the quiz, that's what I want to see. I want to see all that work, okay? So I can see where you got your answer. And then we have the pyramid, which basically is the same as a prism, except instead of rectangles going around the outside, this is coming to a point. So we're going to have triangles, okay? So the base is a regular polygon. All faces are congruent isosceles triangles. So in this case, I would take the square plus the 4 triangles. So my square is 6 by 6 plus my 4 triangles. 4 times a half times base is 6, and height, I know you can't see it very well, but it's 5. So 6 squared plus 4 times a half times base times height. Well, 96. Actually, not about, but exactly. So again, I want to see this work and your answer. Make sure your label, okay, it's going to be squared surface area. And that should take you then through the notes that we have.